All right, man. This is the DFS portion. This the originator, the original everybody East B. They try to win you some money earlier with the picks and the bets, but this the real place you gonna win some money. We trying to win $1 million. Me and Mike trying to win $1 million. Now I'm gonna start it off. And I'm gonna start off two out of 3 weeks. 3 out of 4 weeks we've been in the money. We're gonna be in the money this week as well. So I'm gonna start off with my starting quarterback. My starting quarterback this week is Teddy Bridgewater against Atlanta. Atlanta. They allowed the most fantasy points to starting quarterbacks this year. Everybody eats. I think when Mike was talking about brought up the name everybody eats, he was talking about Atlanta defense. Maybe or maybe not, but yeah, everybody eats against Atlanta. So Teddy Bridgewater, I'm saying 3 touchdowns over 250 yards. I think it's a good play this week. Teddy Bridgewater.
It's gonna be one of those shows again, Rad. Are you serious? I literally was going to say the name of this originated because the Atlanta Falcons defense. So I went Teddy Bridgewater for my quarterback. And but I think that's good, Rad. I think that's good. We're on the same page. Atlanta, the team averaged like 40 points. Quarterbacks averaged 350 yards. Dak ran for 3 touchdowns. Teddy is not as good as Russell, Dak, those quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers that could run and throw. But he's in that cloth, right? He's in that cloth. He can run, he can throw. So I'm expecting him to run for a touchdown and probably throw 2 or 3. And like with Teddy, his floor is low. So he's not gonna go out there and throw all these turnovers. You're gonna at least get this. And so you hoping for the Teddy just spark and get you something. So I went Teddy as well.
Yeah, I think it's a shootout. On one of those. They both defenses are both terrible.
Yep.
So you could play your Panthers, play your Falcons. Moving on, my RB1 this week, I'm going Zeke. I think Zeke is due. I know his fantasy been better than his real life. Real life, he haven't even went over 100 yards yet. I think this is the week he go over 100 yards. I think Dallas tries to run the ball, be more conservative. I think he get 20, 25 plus carries. I think Zeke have his day. He have over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I want Zeke.
I like that. I hope so. I got him on my fantasy team. But contrary to what Mills said, I'm going James Conner. I really like what Pittsburgh is doing right now. Big Ben is a lot better than I thought he was going to be. His wide receivers are playing well. It's unfortunate that last week got canceled. But James Conner is balling, man. He went over 100 the last 2 weeks. And I said short fields for Pittsburgh this week. Everybody is hurt for Philly. Carson Wentz can be running for his life. Probably a strip sack, fumble, start at the 30-yard line. And when that happens, you've seen David Montgomery. His only touchdown came from something like that. So when you get a situation like that, it helped the running backs get cheap touchdowns, quick, easy touchdowns. So I went James Conner.
All right. So from the first 2 picks, Sam and Mills, what y'all think? Do y'all like those picks, or y'all think it's better options out there?
Now let me ask this. This is for y'all lineups, correct?
Yep.
And you're doing FanDuel, you're doing DraftKings, Mike?
Well, we don't say those names on the show.
I'm sorry, but that's what y'all doing.
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask you this? Is this for cash games or for tournament play?
Cash games.
Okay, so what I mean,
like it's just for Sunday.
No, I understand that, but one of the distinctions, sometimes people could understand, cash games generally are games you're playing against. It's less people, and you want to go for sure things. So with that Ezekiel Elliott pick, Rad, that's a lot. I think he's a great cash pick. What I mean by tournament play is those $1 entries. Is, you know what I mean, 300,000 teams in there. So you're really trying to throw for darts in the wall. Y'all get my point? Yeah. I mean for those, like for cash pick, I think James Conner is good. What I will say is the Eagles they have a good defensive line. So I'm tempering my expectations for James Conner because I have him in one of my fantasy leagues. I don't know if he's gonna have one of those 19, 20, or you know what I mean, those high ceiling games. I think he's gonna have a great floor.
All right, so Mills, you like our picks? The first 2 picks, our quarterback and our RB1.
Yeah, for first 2 picks were definitely solid. Like Preach said, that James Conner one. Like Preach said, Philly has a great front. Mike says a couple cheap touchdowns. So I mean, hopefully that does play in a part. He does get a couple cheap touchdowns. But like Rash said, I think Zeke is definitely gonna have a great game. He's definitely been a little iffy going, but he's been being consistent. But I think he's gonna have a breakout game this week.
No Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry, just a question.
No, I don't have any Dalvin Cook.
He's not going to be the best running back this week.
Maybe.
Okay, I was just asking. He's playing the worst football defensive team in history. But all right, you can move on. Right?
He playing Dallas? All right.
No, you playing the Seahawks. They just as bad.
You right. But I'm my number 2 running back. I went Antonio Gibson. This week. I think he's in the pass because of the Kyle Allen addition. Based on how Kyle Allen played last year, hence he did have Christian McCaffrey, but I think he's gonna be targeted a lot this week. And I went. He was only like 5,000, and I think he was one of the cheaper running backs that's going to get the most touches. So I went Antonio Gibson against the Rams, even though I know the Rams. You think they would, because Aaron Donald, you should stay away from that, but they actually been not too great against the run and stopping the run, passes to the running back. So I went Antonio Gibson there.
And I went James. You heard of Johnson and Johnson. Pause. I went James and James.
Oh.
I went James Robinson. Houston is a terrible team, terrible defense. They are the worst running defense right now. They allow 180 yards on the ground. And the last team you want to see is Doug Marrone, because he is going to test you all day. I expect a lot of carries from James Robinson. I don't know if he's going to get 180 like they've been, but he might get 130 because Houston is that bad. So I went James Robinson.
All right, bet. My wide receiver 1 comeback, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is my wide receiver 1. I think it's gonna be a lot of points. I told you earlier it's gonna be a shootout. Calvin Ridley against Carolina. He had a goose egg last week. Julio was out, so we know who's gonna be the number 1 targeted player on that team. He's gonna have a comeback. They said in practice he's questionable, but he's been running routes crisply. He probably gonna play. More than likely he's gonna play. Julio's out. Calvin Ridley's gonna have a big comeback. I think he's gonna be the wide receiver 1 off total in fantasy this week.
I like that. That's a good pick, right? Yeah. I'm gonna say that Atlanta team, that offense, like they're perfect, right? They're like the perfect offense to have for fantasy because the defense is so bad. They have to score all the time. It's not one time Matt Ryan could just hand the ball off and like, yeah, we just about to coast. It's like they go 100 miles an hour every single time. So I like that. But I went Tyreek Hill. They are playing the Las Vegas Raiders. And we seen what the Bills did to them. People was running wide open all day long. I said, go Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs had a day like I said he would. And I'm getting a better coach, a better offensive staff. I'm getting a better quarterback, and I'm getting a better wide receiver. So I went Tyreek Hill. And then Tyreek Hill going to give you some rushing too.
And earlier, to your point, Sam, earlier, no, it's not going to be any Viking because they have primetime game. It's literally just the Sunday games. It's no prime time. It's just the Sunday first.
Oh, the 1 p.m. 4:15.
Yeah, it's
okay.
There's no prime time game, so no Thursday, no Monday nights, no Sunday nights.
Okay, I got you.
So that's why it's gonna be no Vikings
okay.
on either of ours. So my wide receiver 2 this week, I matched them up with my quarterback. I went Robbie Anderson. He is his number 1. Everybody thought that DJ Moore was gonna be the number 1, but Robbie Anderson is the number 1, and he's a better wide receiver than what people thought. You know, over there in the Jets, we thought he was just a deep threat, but coming to Carolina, he's looking like a total package. He got a total route tree. Teddy Bridgewater look for him often. He's heavily targeted. And I think he's the best. Well, he's playing like the best wide receiver, even though I think DJ Moore is probably more talented. But Teddy Bridgewater loves Robbie Anderson. I went Robbie Anderson as my wide receiver 2 this week.
Like that. That's a good pick, right? I went. My wide receiver 2 was Bobby Woods. They are playing the Washington football team. They got a good defense, but I feel like the Rams are embarrassed.
Okay.
The Rams to be embarrassed because what happened last week against the Giants. I think McVay is about to come out. He's about to draw up a lot. I think Bobby Woods is the guy over there. I think he get a lot of targets. And I think if I was McVay, I would want to put up a ton of points to make up last week, because last week was awful. Jared Goff was probably the worst quarterback of all time last week. And I think he come out. I think they want to put up 30, 35 this week. So I want Bobby Woods. I think he could get a lot of targets this week.
Okay.
All right. So Sam Mills, y'all got any gripes or any issues with the 3 picks we just had, our wide receiver and our RB2?
I'm happy that Mike said Robbie Woods. I was on the fence about him. I don't know. Sometimes Jared Goff features. The only thing is Washington, they have a good defensive line. Chase Young is back, and I'm scared that he's going to have Jared Goff running everywhere. And you know he can't run. So hopefully what I'm hoping is they'll have Robert Woods in those little end arounds just to keep the defense honest. So hopefully he can get some yards on that. My question, Rad brought him up earlier. I'm surprised. Oh, never mind. You answered my question, Rad. Yeah, that's all I got to say. You can go.
Or Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson, yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't get him. He's definitely on my radar. So my wide receiver three this week, I went with maybe a boom player that can boom this week. I went Deebo Samuel. Samuel against Miami. And I think he's coming back his second week back. And I think Jimmy G is playing. So I think they're gonna try to get him the ball going. And I don't know if Mostert playing, but I want Deebo Samuel this week against the Miami Dolphins.
And I do this every week, right? I pair a wide receiver with my quarterback, and you did the same thing. So I also went Robbie Anderson. I got Bobby and Robbie. I'm feeling good about my wide receivers. Like you said, Adam Gase is a terrible coach. So soon as Robbie Anderson was able to get away from him, everything is now rainbows and sunshines. So, and Atlanta is terrible. I think they score a lot of points. I think Robbie catch a couple bombs. So that's why I went Robbie Anderson.
I went tight end. I went Eric Ebron this week. Eric Ebron against Philly. They one of the worst teams against tight ends. I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think Pittsburgh gonna blow these boys out. I'm thinking 31-10 type of score. I think coming off this bye, I think they ticked off. They had to get this early bye. I think they're ready to play. I think they one of the best undefeated teams that nobody's talking about because they haven't played. And I think Eric Ebron is gonna get a couple of red zone targets. He's gonna come down one. I think he's gonna get a touchdown. So I want Eric Ebron against Philly.
All right, I'm looking at my team right now because things got switched around. I explain later, but so my tight end, I went Kittle. They're playing Miami. Kittle went off last week. Kittle is the guy. I think they feed him because he was hurt for 2 weeks. He's back. He's ready to eat. Miami is a terrible defense. If Jimmy G is back, that's good. It doesn't matter if it's Nick Mullins. Shanahan is going to do whatever he needs to do to draw all these players to get open like he does every week. So I think Kittle has another big week against the Dolphins.
All right, and my flex is high ceiling, low floor. But my flex, I went Darius Slayton. I want Slayton as my flex against the Cowboys. Daniel, once I said it earlier, if Daniel Jones don't have a day, then I don't know. This is the worst secondary in the league. This is the probably gonna be the number one targeted guy. You got Evan Ingram and you got Golden Tate. But as far as boom plays, Darius Slayton is a boom play type of guy. He always last year he popped here and there for random 150-yard catch games and 2 touchdowns. I'm not saying that's gonna be it, but if it is a defense to do it against, I don't know if it's gonna be a shootout because I don't know. This is one of those iffy. I don't know who's gonna be better. The Dallas defense gonna be better and Daniel Jones gonna be worse, or is Daniel Jones gonna be better and Dallas defense gonna be who they are. So we'll see. But I want Darius Slayton as far as the boom factor here as my flex.
And we talked about this player earlier because if it doesn't happen this week, it's not going to happen for this young man. And I went Kenyon Drake against the Jets. I mean, the Jets is the worst team probably maybe of all time at this point. That's how bad they look. Did y'all see the safety, that last play with Melvin Gordon? Like the safety did his best Sam impersonation, trying to look like he's trying to tackle, but really not trying to tackle, just trying to get to the locker room. That's crazy. Because that was some of the worst. That was embarrassing. That safety shouldn't be in the league no more for that tackle. And I think the Cardinals score a lot. I think they run the ball a lot because they just trying to get out of there, trying to waste time. It's gonna be a blowout. Flacco was playing. Flacco wasn't even good when he was good. And now he twice removed out of the league and however old he is. So I think it's a blowout. I think Drake get a lot of touches. And I think today, this game is the game for him to go off. If he doesn't go off this game, then I can't play him going further anymore. So this is the do or die for him.
All right. And my defense is, I said it earlier, I think it's going to be a blowout. It's Pittsburgh. I think they're gonna get to Wentz early, often. I think Dupree and Watt is gonna have 6 sacks.
Yeah.
I think Wentz gonna throw a couple picks. I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think Philly is gonna look really bad. They don't have no wide receivers. They got Greg Ward Jr. is the best receiver. They're gonna lock him up. So yeah, I got a blowout. I got Pittsburgh. They might even score this. They might even score this game. I got Pittsburgh D.
It's funny, Rad, because my defense was the Patriots defense. I know Gilmore wasn't playing that first, Gilmore probably isn't playing. It doesn't matter. It was ripping. He tried to throw an interception every single time he threw the ball last week. The Jets couldn't catch it. And the New England, Belichick is the worst person. You can't go from Adam Gase to Bill Belichick. That's the opposite ends of the spectrum. So for Rippin to have been able to play them, I wanted the Patriots all day. But since that game is moved, that's why I was just flustered. Cause I looked down, I didn't have a defense because they said the game got moved to Monday, so it doesn't count anymore.
It doesn't count. Yep.
So when I'm looking through, the very first defense that I picked was Pittsburgh, because I talked about short fields all day, because I think they're gonna get after Wentz, strip sacks, interceptions. I think Wentz has no targets. Everybody's pretty much hurt. So I think it's gonna be a long day for Wentz, which is not good because I do have him in my fantasy league. So I may have to sit him. But it's gonna be a long day for him. I think Pittsburgh is all over him, and I think that defense is gonna score some points for us, kind of like the Colts did when against the Jets like 2 weeks ago. So that's what I'm hoping for Pittsburgh.
All right. So what y'all boys think? The last couple picks. What y'all think of our team?
I don't personally.
I think both
What you got, Mills? Yeah.
I think both teams are real solid, and like the title is everybody eats beat. I'm trying to eat too, man. So put me in the game, coach.
Oh, you gotta go ahead and put a team in.
I don't personally like the Deebo Samuel's pick. I would probably go with Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel's only ran 16 routes last week. I think they're bringing him in slowly. So, and Brandon Ayuk is really just another Deebo Samuel. They get him in a lot of different actions. I think he's going to have a real big game this coming week. And, yeah, it was interesting how y'all constructed y'all team, because I think y'all went big on running back, meaning y'all spent up on it. And I think this week, for me personally, when I looked at it, this was a week where the next tier of running backs, it was some value there, in my opinion. Like I put in a lineup, and I was able to get it Antonio Gibson and a Mike Davis, right? I think that's solid. You know what I mean? And you compare that with a Teddy Bridge, have Robbie Anderson. You know what I'm saying? And some
you'll go their whole offense.
I'm stacking that whole. Well, Mike just said that Atlanta is the worst defensive team in the league. They're allowing 40 points. I mean, like, why not? Right. Generally on these things, the stack comes out to win. I of course I'm gonna stack that game. I think Mike Davis is gonna have a great game. Robbie Anderson gonna have a great game. Teddy Bridgewater. But that's just me. And nobody
gonna lose though.
Nobody mentioned D Hop. Y'all through with D Hop?
No, I just I thought.
I mean, saying we have a budget, bro. We can't just get all the best.
Well,
best players.
What I'm saying is, what I mean by this, I did this right. So I agree. I'm saying Teddy Bridgewater, Antonio Gibson, Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson, DJ Chark, Robbie Woods, Kittle, Hopkins, Steelers D. Bingo.
What's that? Yeah. FanDuel?
That's what you did, right? Yes.
I didn't do.
I did that. So I would say this preach.
So I got less money. I got 50.
No,
I don't know why you think I spent money on running backs, because I didn't.
I was saying I was speaking specifically.
Oh, but say because Connor, Robertson, and King and Drake are like.
No, they was mid tier. That was where the value was at. Yeah, I was just speaking specifically to Ezekiel Elliott.
All right.
I just think he gonna have I think he's just due. I just went straight Zeke because I thought he was due.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Mills, anybody got anything else to say? No. Oh yes, Mike.
Nah, we good. We Gucci. I already spoken to existence. I told everybody I'm gonna be a millionaire on Monday, so go ahead and tune in at 7:00. So hopefully y'all took notes.
Listen, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're trying some different things out with the pod, putting these pods together. So we're working out the kinks. We trying to figure out how it's gonna work, but we just trying to get some money in y'all pockets. You know what I'm saying? Get some money in y'all pockets. But what we need y'all to do is we need y'all to go on Facebook, like and share this. Please like and share this. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We think it's a sports show on YouTube. We need you to also go Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. Go and follow us. We think it's a sports show. Please go on there. And also, Overdue Bills podcast is coming to you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that. It's an Overdue Bills Facebook page. You can get it from here. We'll share it to this. So we think it's a sports show, but be on the lookout for all that. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all next week.